Japan's losing that freaking invasion. They took Guadalcanal, if that means anything. They haven't managed to land on the Philippines yet.
Like, it'd be awesome if they just die.
Well, I will say they've lost over 750,000 men just doing this. And I've only lost about another 100,000. I don't want to go onto that just quite yet. If I can avoid it.
Avoid that as closely as possible.
Okay. We're gonna work on that in the meantime. What can I add on this end? Not a whole lot. How many planes do I have in the air right now? Who's invading me now?
Who's invading me now?
I don't get it, man. They can't win. What are they invading now? Oh, are you serious? They keep playing this dodge game. It's really pissing me off.
That advance.
Oh my god, dude.
I know, right?
I am trying. Trying to make it to Kiev.
Good, good.
How stupid does it gotta be to where it fucking does that to you? They really are trying that invasion, are they? Yeah, dude, you're losing Africa now because you got all those troops down there.
What?
Yeah, they're pushing you back. I knew that was gonna happen the second I fucking left. There's nobody even there. It's frustrating. Getting in the march. see some advances on that direction. Ian, did you just dodge and not do that focus so you didn't have to fight just yet?
I didn't want to fight yet.
Okay.
Visions. And I told you I was gonna try and go down the. Try. I've already researching.
Get the heck out of there. Okay.
And then once I made, but I couldn't do the missiles.
I think I'm killing American troops across the
You are.
Atlantic. Am I really?
I look statistics.
Oh, I am. Yeah, 98K is already dead. Because I'm seeing a lot of dead, oh, yeah.
But a lot of that, but 10% of that is coming from Japan.
Probably. But Japan isn't in a huge battle either. Because Japan's, well...
No, but Japan's
Because Japan's a bitch.
fucking stiff.
They got about 51 divisions. They're really not doing much, though. I'm going to send an attaché just to watch what the hell they're doing. Yeah, they're stuck. They're stuck in freaking... Yeah.
If the Americans are there, they're gonna be halting them.
Yeah. It's pretty much... Yeah, see, they're not in it yet. Alright, that makes sense. I mean, the Japanese did take the Solomon Islands. For whatever that's worth. Which I don't think it's really worth anything. I think the Soviets are getting exhausted. Because they're on all adults serve. They cannot maintain this large of an army.
At least they shouldn't be able to.
They're not going to be able to. As horrible as it is to say, it's just... Oh wow.
Well, that's done.
Yeah, the line's pretty static. I'm making some progress, but it ain't much.
Mm.
It is definitely not much to brag about. At least that's getting cleaned up. Oh yeah, dude, I'm killing so many American convoys. Holy cow. I have this massive wall up is what it is. No matter what way they come, they're gonna run into my subs. Wonder what that's done to them.
They're all going to die.
They've lost 128k.
Wow.
I can't make a push. 135k now. We only field about 9 million men, and they are fielding about 25 million.
Jesus. Too freaking much.
It isn't the United Nations, it's just the Soviets. They are fielding the majority of them. Yeah, guys, I don't know if I don't think we can advance at this point. I'm not seeing much of a difference. Oh yeah, your live stream is back up, man.
Yeah, I fixed it a little bit ago.
There's just so many divisions, dude. I don't understand.
They're gonna be lots with it.
What?
2 regular infantry, 1 medium tank, motorized. That's a pretty good start. Plus, I just fielded my first summon.
Oh, I'm barely pushing. I don't know if I can push. There are just so many divisions that I honestly don't know if I even can at this point. I mean, I have more mills than they do by a lot, but I don't know if it matters at this point. I really don't know.
We have the superior firepower, so we should be able to, like, at least take back something.
What the hell do they got going on here? Oh my god.
Oh, is the game paused?
It shouldn't be.
Oh, you're just running it slow.
Yeah, it's just running really slow is all we're doing. The Allied air power is getting a little bit stronger. Just so you know. Guys, I can't push him. It's not happening.
Are you able to toss them?
Huh?
Would you be able to do like a small thing near mid-scene?
I gotta stop all my attacks. I'm just grinding myself to death at this point. That's all that's happening, and it's just killing me.
You know what I don't get?
What?
The Great Depression's still on yet.
What?
They have about 62 to 139 divisions and everything.
Yeah. Well,
shouldn't the Great Depression be limiting them?
it should be, but you know how that goes. And I mean, it's not really meant. It's costing them political power and consumer goods, so they're not able to produce as much. I mean, good lord, they only have 54 military factories, and it's 1942, and that's the United States. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good at all. But, I mean, Japan has more military factories than the U.S. at this point. However, the only bad thing is that we're not. I just, there's no way that I can push at all. There's no way I could even begin to push the Soviets at this point. They're so ridiculously
Just in number.
yeah, it's insane. And if had we been doing this the regular game,
We would have pushed them all the way back to Moscow. So
well, I mean, we would have pushed them a lot further back, and they wouldn't have had as much. That's what would have happened, but it didn't matter. It's just, it is what it is at this point.
yeah.
There's really nothing I can do besides just hold the line.
Best you can. I mean,
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Let them wear themselves down.
They're not gonna wear out. Problem is, I'll probably wear out before them. I don't have enough
Yeah, 'cause they'll
manpower.
just keep on throwing bodies at you.
Yep, they can afford it. I cannot.
Okay. That's not. I mean, like I said though, I mean, with it being the AI, like they could have gotten like a huge boost of manpower or something just to keep it historical or something, you know?
No, what happened was that this is very, very clearly meant to be for players, and because of that, the AI just builds, and players don't normally do that. The players don't build that much. I've seen this mod before. I've seen it to where it's not like that, and even if they do build that much, it's hard to maintain it. And even that said, you have access is staffed full of players who are all using similar strategies in order to circumvent that, you know? Because I tried to get a couple encirclements that would have helped out a lot, but it didn't matter. I couldn't do it. So honestly, at this point, I'm ready to say that this is the end game, you know?
Well, I mean, we did what we could, though. I mean,
well, we did a good job.
Okay.
I'm not upset. It's just we got Africa for the most part. We secured Africa. Supply down here is the reason you haven't been able to take out the rest. Is that supply is so bad, and you need to move out. You either need to build up that supply by building the infrastructure, or move troops out, so it wouldn't be so bad. But other than that, I mean, we took everything else, and we did so pretty easily. So that's good. We didn't take Gibraltar. We could have, but we didn't. Didn't think about that, honestly, until just now, because of everything else that's going on. Norway, that was a loss. Couldn't take that. But, other than that, I mean, Denmark fell, everybody else fell, and, I mean...
we could always try and come back to it. I mean,
yeah, I mean, there's definitely something we could try and figure it out, but knowing how that goes, it's just one of those things where we'll have to figure it out as we go. But, I mean, we definitely, I have almost 4,000 planes.
yeah, I haven't been building up planes. I've just been focusing on the ground.
That's the thing, though. I have the largest air force by the looks of it in the game, because the Soviets don't have an air force. They only have like 300 planes. And the British have about 2,000 planes. And the Americans and French combined have maybe 1,000 planes. So I outnumber them with just my plane count alone, which is about 4,000.
Yeah.
So, like, I've got air superiority. That's not the problem at this point. And my subs are wreaking havoc in the Atlantic. That's not the problem. The Allies are well under control. What sucks is that the Soviets are just so I wouldn't say it's overpowered. It's just they have so many divisions, and it's just there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
And it's not like we weren't properly prepared. I mean, I had 234 divisions I had over 200 divisions and 41 ready to roll. So I had about 130 divisions ready to roll.
Jeez.
And
Freaking crazy.
That was, honestly, historically speaking, that's about what it was historically. So I don't know what else I could have done. But it's partially the mod, I think, because the mod's meant to make it player based. So a player's normally playing Soviets and isn't, tossing this many divisions out like that. Or if they are, they're usually shitties. They're not this good. So, because I mean, the Soviet player also has to build an air force. They have other things to think about. And this AI did not think about that. They just pumped out the same division because it's mainly just infantry.
I've got a tank on my just.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple. Maybe, yeah. And the thing is, yeah, I've only seen maybe 4. Well, now that I look, there's actually quite a few more. But I mean, most of the southern front's just infantry. But anyhow, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is just that at this point, I'd say we just say this is where we're ending at. We did pretty good, all things considered. I mean, I have an Atlantic wall set up to where I'm just slaughtering convoys that come across the Atlantic from the U.S. and Canada and North America in general. I mean, I could tell you, I don't know if there's a way to look at that, but just from the stats here, it tells you how many of the casualties that the United States has suffered from me. Out of 193,000, how many do you think died from me? Just me.
Gee.
The Japanese...
74,000, dude.
Yeah. The Japanese have only killed 17,000. So that tells me I've killed 174,000 Americans in the Atlantic with U-boats. Because I haven't fought them on the battlefield.
Jesus.
Because earlier I know somebody somewhere will say something like that, but earlier that there were Americans in Netherlands and the Battle of France and that kind of stuff. But that's the thing, they weren't fighting me because they weren't in a war yet. They were just standing on the tiles. So that's why there were still Americans in my country that were exiled but couldn't go anywhere until the war started. So honestly, yeah, that's how many I've killed in the Atlantic, man. That's why you haven't seen a lot of U.S. troops in Africa, or you haven't seen a lot of U.S. troops in Britain even try to, like, there's been no attempts at D-Day because I've just been killing everybody that's come across this way. I have 88 U-boats right now.
Oh my God, man! You really did, though.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely had that set up correctly, but the only problem is that I didn't have enough divisions, or the Soviet AI was just too powerful to try to take down without having more players involved. Because honestly, I can't. You, myself, and Ian, we couldn't do that alone. Ian playing as Finland. I mean, Finland's kind of nerfed by the looks of it. They just didn't have enough divisions to really make a difference. And I mean, nationalist Spain can't even join the war. And yeah, it's just Vichy France. They're not worth anything. They can't do much.
Sweden.
Yeah, you can't even play Sweden. They don't have anything. And Norway's fine. I could have taken down Norway if I had done the invasion right. I screwed up the paratrooper drop. That was my fault. But other than that, I mean, the UK, they just piled divisions in. And even the UK only has somewhere between 100 and 246 divisions, which is really not that bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not bad. That's not hard to manage. Now, the British Raj has somewhere between 101 and 363 divisions. That's a little much, but I mean, still.
Which that shouldn't have been happening.
But even with that, even with all that, that's manageable because we've been able to beat them. You know, like they can't touch North Africa. We have all of that under control. You hold on to Ethiopia, you've held on to all of it. So I'd say, all in all, we won against the Allies. For sure, especially naval-wise. I mean, I just completely cut off the U.S. from Europe, and just all the trade routes have been cut off. The Suez Canal cut off the British. So the British Empire is pretty much having to go through, take their convoys through my sort of gate, or not gate, but wall of U-boats in order to get anywhere, and they're dying because of it. So I have 20 U-boats in the southern part alone. I've got 40 U-boats on the upper Atlantic wall. I mean, it's crazy how many U-boats I have. So that worked out really well. In the Battle of France, I mean, Europe itself, we did great. It's just the Soviets, it's more of a tie/loss, in my opinion.
And like you said, they just have walls of men. Like,
yeah, it's.
I mean, I just don't know how that could even be possible.
I mean, it can be, but even you have 133 divisions. I had 234, and I mean, you annexed Bulgaria. I mean, Romania has 113. Hungary has 82. So all in all, I mean, we could match up to them. I'm not saying we couldn't, but it's just...
It would take a
Italian
long
East
time.
Africa has 154 divisions. How?
Yeah. How?
Okay. They're really crappy.
What?
They're really, really crappy divisions, man.
What?
Your puppet, Italian East Africa, that's why they have so many. It's because their divisions are just trash. They're four width, man. They're horrible.
That's literally all it is. Just 8 divisions in one.
Yeah, like your one division would be 3 or 4 of theirs. So, but I mean, the Japanese, they didn't do much of anything. But I mean, they did start fighting the Allies. So I mean, they did
Later on. I mean, I feel like Japan should have been taking some of the heat off of us on Russia.
Yeah.
I have the feeling that they don't have a thing for it.
No, they don't. This mod doesn't. It's purely historical in this mod. But China, I mean, my gosh, China has over 1,000 divisions. That's why your game probably slowed down so much, because it changed to the point to where we have so many different divisions on the field now. Which, that's the thing with AI that's frustrating on these sort of mods, is that the vanilla game can get that way too sometimes, but it's not as bad. We should have probably played the vanilla. Because while it was really stable at the beginning, toward the end game like this, where we're actually pretty decently strong. Because, I mean, our Air Force and Navy, I mean, it's great for what the Axis powers do, you know?
Yeah.
But when it comes to divisions, it's just... There's no comparing to an AI that's just going to pump them out blindly until there's thousands of divisions because the Soviet Union was already on all adults serve in order to have that many divisions out on the field. And that's not right, you know? Because like no player is going to put their troops on all adults serve that quickly. They're going to keep it at extensive or maybe service by requirement, but they wouldn't have pushed it all the way to that to where they're getting all those crazy debuffs. So that's the part that was frustrating there, is that the AI doesn't care about that, and they're just going to do whatever they can to have as many troops as they could possibly fit onto the field. And if you notice, they can't push us back very much.
So it clearly shows that we're doing something right as well.
But what I'm saying by that is that they're piling these divisions, but at the same time, these divisions are not the greatest divisions. And even if they are good divisions, which they might be, they don't have the supply to fight on that level with that many. It's just too many. So I don't know, but it's just that whole situation is just frustrating.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, what can you do though?
Yep.
We tried.
I mean, we did a good job. I like the way it ended.
Same here.
I think it was good. But anyhow, that's pretty much all I gotta say. What do you think, Ian?
Kind of bullshit.
What'd you say?
I said it's kind of bullshit from after taking that fucking get those few 13 just to fucking to restart over.
I honestly didn't hear much of what you said because you kept cutting out.
It's bullshit.
More or less.
Oh, I mean, and that's another thing is I've been simultaneously, because a lot of times on these big player games, which is why we shouldn't use this mod, honestly, a lot of times is there are co-ops. So like there are two people playing one country. For example, the Germans. I've had to manage the air war and make sure that I'm not being navally invaded in the west while fighting on the Eastern Front, which, admittingly, I haven't been able to pay as much attention to the Eastern Front as a result. And as a result of not paying attention to that, I've had to pay attention to the naval war, Africa, not as much on Africa, but just in general, I've had to pay attention to everything else, and production, and all these other things. So normally, there are two players on Germany at this point in the game who are playing, and then there are two players on the Soviets, because it's just so much to manage.
Yeah, it is.
Same with the UK, same with the US, even Japan at sometimes, not as often. But still, like, it's just, you need two players to just manage it all, so you can pay attention. Because if I was able to pay attention, pay deep attention into this Eastern Front stuff, I might have been able to get an encirclement. I think we'd still be in the same situation just because of the numbers. But it may have been a little bit different. We may have pushed a little further. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that it's just when you get to this point in the game, you need to make sure you're playing. Well, in general, need to make sure we're playing something where it's not like this, where we're having thousands of divisions to fight. Because it's only 42, so it shouldn't have happened like that. But anyhow, that's pretty much the wrap on that.
I mean, I don't know. There could have been some things that I could have done different that probably would have changed some things, but all in all, I feel like I've done what I could.
I honestly say my biggest failure is probably not taking Norway, because I could have. I definitely could have if I had been more prepared and smarter about it, because I could have used the paratroopers and the naval invasions around Oslo to distract them away from the other port, and then invade that port and get a foothold. I could have, but I didn't. I botched it. Ended up losing a lot over it, and it just was a pain in the ass.
Well, good game. I mean,
don't let it be lost on you that in the short time we fought the Soviets, they lost 2.5 million men. And we could honestly, if we wanted to, if we really wanted to grind it out, we probably would have ground them down and eventually won. I really think we could have, but it would have been such a, just mind fuck of a couple of hours, and it just wouldn't have been worth it.
Oh.
But I mean, that's another thing too, is that I could never invade the UK because their navy, because I only have an underwater navy. I can't. I mean, if I send all my subs in the English Channel, maybe we can hold off. last long enough to take over, but they just have so many divisions too that it was just unfeasible.
And they also have all adults serve as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like the AI will do that, but players, they aren't going to go to all adults serve and take all those massive disadvantages and debuffs to construction and production in order to have that many divisions. They would. It's not something they would do. It's just not logically sensible. I will say though, I lost about 1 million and 1.25 million. You lost about 500,000. But Italian East Africa lost nearly 1 million by itself.
Damn.
I'm just upset I couldn't do anything as fucking nationalist.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It's honestly this mod, man. If it weren't for this mod, you could have joined a faction and gotten into war. It's just the mod prevented you from doing it because it's set to historical mode.
Like, Finland kind of got fucked over with Russia, so I didn't... I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting out of because I could have done so much naval-wise, probably help.
Mm-hmm. Well, then at least we learn next time when we do something like this. If we're going to do another thing like this, we'll
use this mod.
We'll find a different mod, or we'll just go vanilla or something. Because this mod isn't... It's not meant for just 3 people. It's meant for like 10 or 15 people who are all playing. All the majors are being played. So we're not getting a U.S. that only has 54 mils in 42, and a Soviet Union that has less mils than the Germans, but has 4 times the amount of divisions.
Yeah.
And a China that has 83 mils, that has 83 military factories, and has not been invaded.
Yeah.
And has over 1,000 divisions.
Yeah, that's not right.
Now, if I can get them into war, which you can't because of the mod, but if I was able to get them into war, that would be a nice, interesting twist to force the Soviets away from the line, but it just wouldn't.
I'm just upset that I couldn't produce more than I wanted.
You should have, yeah, Ian, now that I think about it, you should have been I should have, like, tried to keep you on someone like the Romanians or something. Because the Romanians, I mean, if there's a player on that, you could have had 100 divisions and been able to help out a lot in the Eastern Front.
My thought was that while you guys would have invaded, down here, I would have thought taking from me down, but they just had so take, which really surprised, which really kind of altered the plan, because had I been able to at least invade a little bit, I could have waited.
Yeah, I got you.
Because that's what I really expected you guys to get there, and that's when I was going to do stuff. Because then I could have worked my way north and west, where you guys were still south.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I don't know. Them just having so many units really just halted any plan we could have.
I think that's a big part of it as well. It was just completely destruction. Because even with the amount of units the Allies had on their end, on the Western Front, I was still able to destroy France. I was still able to take out Belgium and the Netherlands and Denmark. So that tells me that this is definitely possible. It's just the mod, the nature of the mod is meant for a big multiplayer game. And if one of the majors or 2 of the majors isn't being played by a player, like the Soviets and the U.S., it screws up the game. I mean, Japan never invaded China. That shouldn't have happened. China should have been invaded, but they weren't. I mean, they even did the Marco Polo Bridge incident, but they just didn't declare war.
Yeah, that really caught me off guard.
Yeah, so that's why China has so many divisions, but the war never started, so Japan never invaded. So I don't know, that was frustrating. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got.
Thank you here.
But yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. And
Happy as well. I mean, you know.
yeah, I mean, that's the wrap.